Right, in this video I want to talk about the coming elections in Israel, in Israel, which will take place on the 20th of March, so it's less than a month from now, and it will determine a lot in the Middle East, and not only in the Middle East, it will determine what will happen in America as well. And in this video I want to talk about two politicians who follow the teachings of Meir Kahane. They're considered to be radical, extremists or so. But is that so? So I want to talk about, first of all, I want to talk about Baruch Marzel. Well, as far as I know, he participates in nationalistic marches through Arab towns, waving Israeli flags, demonstrates against Jewish-Arab intermarriages. Right, why on earth would a Jew want to marry an Arab? Right, he organises big parties to celebrate the actions of Baruch Goldstein, who massacred 29 Arabs at prayers in Hebron in 1994. Well, of course, what Goldstein did in 1994 was not actually ethical, on the one hand, but on the other hand, what on earth are Arabs doing in jihadists? What on earth are they doing in Hebron? And who can forget what the Arabs did in the 1920s in Hebron, where they massacred 63 people. So anyway, he talks about President Obama as an anti-Semitic Jew hater, which is true, and he brought 3 donkeys to the gay pride parade in Jerusalem, one of them bearing a sign, "I'm proud too." So that was a good idea. So anyway, so this Baruch Marzel, he belongs to the Otzmach Le-Israel party, and he's the parliamentary assistant to the MP Mikhail Ben Ari, who was also a Meir Kahanist. And so the thing is, they were accused. So they accused both of them. Baruch Marzel and Mikhail Ben Ari, of being extremists or racists. And well, what Baruch Marzel answered is that I do not hate Arabs, I love Jews. And he's issuing a thinly veiled indication of his true inclination. When he was asked how many of the 1.7 million Arab citizens, that's in Israel proper, not the West Bank, he thinks needed to leave Israel, he said that he must check them one by one, which is quite true. The majority certainly do not belong here, and he said, convince yourself that God and the United Nations gave the entire land of Israel to the Jews, and then what he says is true. Annex the West Bank and Gaza and throw out everyone who thinks differently, of course. And all our diplomatic problems stem from the fact that we do not believe that this land belongs to us. On the day we internalize and tell the world that this land belongs to the Jewish people, we will start applying sovereignty everywhere and begin building everywhere, and that's it. And that is my diplomatic platform. So that's what Baruch Marzel said. And as far as we know, he joined Meir Kahane. That's in Boston. He was born in Boston, and he joined the Jewish Defense League. Aged 13, he was arrested. Aged 14, and he was convicted. 17. Marzel was born 55 years ago in Boston, and he arrived in Jerusalem. And anyway, and he was wounded in the Lebanon War, in the first war in Lebanon. Then he moved to Hebron, which sadly has a majority of Arabs in it for some obscure reason. And he does not use the word transfer, but he claims that no enemies must stay in Israel after the West Bank and Gaza are annexed. And of course they must be annexed. And I will encourage their immigration, he said, adding that only a small number of Arabs would want to stay after his party came to power. That's the Otzmach Le-Israel party. Right, and I'm sure that it's possible to arrange that a great part of our enemies will not be here. There are ways, he said. Many of Marcel's views fall sour, even those most hardline nationalists from the outgoing Knesset. Right, our common goal is to prevent both the removal of settlements in an Arab state on this side of the Jordan River. That's what Obama wants. He wants an Arab state in the West Bank, which was not happen anyway. And then he was asked about the three big right-wing Jewish politicians, and he starts by Naftali Bennett, who is considered by most to be an ultra-nationalist, but who, for Marzel's taste, is too fond of Arabs. Bennett does not have an ideology, Marzel said. Bennett is a nice guy, he knows how to talk well, but he doesn't share our views. Whoever says that 99% of Arabs are loyal to the country, there's something wrong with it. Then he goes on to talk about Avigdor Lieberman, who was also a right-wing extremist. Marzel claims that he has no ideology and therefore is dangerous to the cause of Greater Israel. So where does that leave Prime Minister and the good chairman, Benjamin Netanyahu? He's not a man of the right, he's a centrist, perhaps even a leftist. Anyway, so the truth is somewhere in between, actually. So in the 20th of March, Bibi Netanyahu, I hope he's re-elected, he has to drive out all these commies, Yair Lapid, and mainly Tzipi Livni, who are leftists and they are pro-Arab. He must make sure that there is no state, and whatever Obama says or whatever Putin says, there must be no state in the West Bank. Gaza must be annexed once more. So we must remind people that what happened was Israel proper. The state of Israel proper was freed in 1948, and in the 1967 war, the West Bank, Judea, Samaria, the Golan Heights, and Gaza were liberated from the Arabs. And in 1993, Bill Clinton forced Yitzhak Rabin, the traitor, and Shimon Peres to give parts of the West Bank to the Arabs. And then they brought the big butcher, the big terrorist Yasser Arafat there. Arafat was succeeded by Mahmoud Abbas, and then in 2005, Ariel Sharon, who used to be a right-wing politician, then he turned leftist, and then he withdrew more than 8,000 Jews from Guzion in Gaza. And immediately afterwards, Gaza became a launchpad for terrorists who was taken over by Hamas. The Fatah in the West Bank proved to be non-mild, because we see even in the official website that they want a new Holocaust with another 6 million Jews, and they have pictures of montage of Benjamin Netanyahu being hanged. So and Mahmoud Abbas does all these, he backs terrorists and he makes all these racist rants. So Fatah is not mild either. So what Meir Kahane said, the leader of Baruch Marzel and Ben Ari, Mikhail Ben Ari. So what he said, Meir Kahane was murdered in 1990. He fought the Soviet Union, he was anti-communist to the bone, and what he wanted was that there will be no Arabs in Israel proper, the West Bank, Gaza, the whole thing. It will be transferred to Jordan, because Jordan is a legal state also. It was a puppet created by England. Right, and he wants a mass immigration back to Israel. He wants all the traditions to return. Right. So most of what Meir Kahane said before he was murdered in 1990 was true, and practically everyone in Israel begins to realise that what Meir Kahane said is the truth, and nothing but the truth. So I believe that the centre right with Naftali Bennett, Avigdor Lieberman, and Netanyahu must join with the Kahanists. They must bridge the small differences, and they must drive out the leftists. They must stop giving food, water, electricity to Fatah, Hamas, all these terrorists. They must stop feeding the 11 Arabs in the Knesset who are being paid to fight Israel within the Knesset. And they must stop giving all that money to the terrorists who are in prison. The Fatah and Hamas terrorists who are in prison right now get more money than I do for absolutely no reason. So all that crap must stop. They must drive out Tzipi Livni, Yair Lapid, all these leftists, pro-Arab leftists who talk about some sort of occupation, all that crap. So the Kahanists and the second right must join forces on the 20th of March and well, according to my opinion, and make strong right-wing government headed by Netanyahu for the fourth time, but with a more Kahanist point of view, according to my opinion, of course. Well, of course, I can't alter things, but I hope that will lead to a more Kahane view, and the central right-wing politicians join forces and bridge the differences and defeat the Arabs once and for all and drive them out of the West Bank. Whatever Obama says, whatever the West says, whatever the United Nations says, there will be no Arab state in the West Bank. Gaza must be free, must return to what it was before 2005. Hamas must be annexed. It must be an Arab-free big state with a right-wing government which will take no. And as far as Iran, the Ayatollah, is concerned, must say no to the nuclear program of the Ayatollahs, of course. And that is the strongest point that Netanyahu gets all the points for being adamant about the nuclear program of Iran. And of course, I also like Anastasia Mikhaili, who is also right wing. She's quite beautiful and tall, and she threw the cafe at that Arab guy who was making fun of the Jews within the Knesset, whilst being paid millions to do that. So all the right-wing Jews and all the Kahanist Jews that join forces, defeat the left, become right-wing, defeat the Arabs and make a strong Eretz Israel. And they must make it impervious to Iran and the Arabs who surround it. Right. And let's hope that Obama is defeated soon after soon after Benjamin Netanyahu comes to power again. Obama is overthrown and the Republicans in America join forces honestly with Netanyahu, and of course, Stephen Fry in Canada, he's pro-Israel as well. So that's about it. So I like Ben Ari, I like Marcel, I like Anastasia Mikhaili, I like Naftali Bennett, I like Abigail Lieberman, I like Bibi Netanyahu. I don't like the leftists. I don't like what Yitzhak Rabin did. I don't like what Libni and Yair Lapid are doing. I don't like what Shimon Peres did in 1993. So that's about it. That wraps it up. So let's hope that the Likud party, with all the right-wing parties, join forces and they win on the 20th of March. Right, that's about it. Wraps it up.